3 o'clock in the morning, the sun shining as the world wakes again. Hey mister, can you tell me, does space bend? All around you is the sound of laughter. Joyous people celebrate a life so grand. Hey mister, read that fairy tale again. Ooh, I've seen it though you won't believe it. It's a miracle year in which we're living. Come on outside, it's a beautiful day. A gentle breeze blows across the ocean, sending waves that crash upon the sand. Hey mister, did you watch Slow Down again? There's time for you to smell the flowers, even though the thorns get in the way. Hey mister, what's your theory for today? Ooh, I've seen it though you won't believe it. It's a miracle year in which we're living. Come on outside, it's a beautiful day.
Oh, come on outside, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. What you're about to see is out of this world. Step right up now, don't be shy, because we're about to show you how cars can fly.
Who dares to fight with the icon of this day, and she finds her own miracle on the way. I said, hey now, life's a joy, you gotta try your best and give your all. When the facts don't fit the theory, change the facts again. Ooh, I've seen it though you won't believe it. It's a miracle year in which we're living. Come on outside, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
All right, give it up, come on, give it up for Michael and Taylor. Yeah, we do have our people here. The credits are actually longer than the video itself. Vitamar, where's Vitamar? Are you here? There he is in the back, sleeping. There he is. And Bear, he's right up there. All right. And of course, well, Bruna's not here. She was a samba dancer that I'm sure I get in trouble filming certain parts of people, so. But also my brother, he's here. Michael, say hello. All right. And of course my father, the hitman, who complained that his gun didn't work in the video, if you noticed. I think he thinks it's fake. And of course we had our bobblehead, and my mom of course is here, and the bobblehead that sat on our dashboard. So. But the idea of this is, I'm hoping that once we get it out to festivals, we'll put this on YouTube, maybe it'll generate some interest for the film. But again, let's give it up, folks, for Michael Ruggieri. Come on. Yeah, it's the only music video that took 7 years to shoot. There it goes, 2006 to 2006. All right, folks. What we want to do now is I want to call up my friend, who's a director and a writer. When we started this, I actually had friends who were in both the newspaper business and in television. I kept trying to get them to do a story on this story that I ended up doing a documentary until we were working at a poker company. It was a company that I was the first programmer hired to do internet poker. those of you know Full Tilt, it turned into Phil Tilt, and I was on the wrong side of the fence, and that's why I'm a poor guy here still. But he was there, and he said these fateful words to me in 2004. He said, "Dave, why don't you do a documentary on this?" And believe it or not, he had only, what, 6 children, triplets, three adopted kids, right? And triplets of their, 2 adopted, and 3 triplets of their own later, and my daughter, who's now actually in the credits of the film with helping me with the film. That's how long it's taken. But I want to introduce him up. His name is Kev Stolber. Come on, let's give it up. And I need Ron and you two, Mom and Dad, Michael Ruggieri. I'm going to hand the mic over to him.
Thank you, Dave. I just want to just say again, this is an amazing project of passion that these people have had. And I want one more time for these people. This is not easy. Actually, I'm just doing that so they kill time while they put the chairs. But everybody's walking up. Mrs. DeHilster, thank you for walking up. Your son makes you walk a lot in this movie, doesn't he? He's up walking.
Better shape.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
And I loved every minute of it.
So there's 3 things that I learned from this movie. One, that there's a lot of discourse within the scientific community regarding Einstein and his theories. 2, that David DeHilster does not shy away from colorful outfits. And 3,
Made by my wife Doris. So where's our Doris? Go ahead. Wearing you, yeah. She said directors need to wear scarves even if it's not cold. So.
And thirdly, Brazilians love to party. So, if you can go down the line and introduce yourself, just so you were in the movie, but let's remember.
I'm Ron Hatch.
Mr. Hatch.
The GPS guy. I'm Dave DeHilster.
I'm Dave's father, I guess, and he keeps trying to blame me for all these things, but it's not my fault.
And I belong to both of them. And I'm Kathy Gilster.
And I'm the misfit down at the end, Michael Ruggieri.
Well, you have the microphone now. We'll start with that. And so, how did you meet David and get involved in this whole project? And I believe this is the first time you've ever done music for movies. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. Let's see, I met David and Doris through my wife, through the Brazilian community. And Dave, has been working on this film for a long time. We've talked about the music, for a long time. However, it was always, I was never really gonna, do it. I was gonna maybe listen to some things he had done, but one thing led to another. I actually think it took Valeria and Doris to kind of bring us together, but I sat on it for a few weeks just looking at, the film on my computer, just looking at it saying, how am I gonna put music to this? So it was really, tough thing at first until Dave and I got together and he just said, you know what, just turn off the computer and just write. And just send me pieces and I'll fit them in. And that's kind of how it happened. So it was just, it was an amazing experience and very honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I was just telling my wife, there's a really catchy tune, so it's really tap your heels to it. So
Thank you.
yeah, as I was saying, Mrs. Hilster, you remind me of my mom.
Sorry, what?
You remind me of my mom. And especially, I was telling my wife that the one part there where you were running the computer while your husband was doing the presentation, and the one gentleman is saying, well, did you try this? And the total mom, she goes, they're not done yet. They're getting there. So you're very protective of everybody in your family, the typical mom. I just want to point that out to you. What in this journey, what most point sticks out in your mind as you started out? David and I go way back. I actually remember the script where you were Einstein was on a bicycle and you were going to kidnap him.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So that's how far back that goes. But you've gone even farther back with David. So what sticks out in your mind?
Well, first of all, one of the most interesting things is science happened to be my favorite subject when I was in high school. But they certainly didn't teach science the way they do now. So one of the things that I enjoyed most about this course was when they called me and asked me to do this, I really was kind of scared. But it turned out to be one of the best journeys I've ever had in my life. I've met some most fantastically and strange people, and but all very kind and very nice. And I have learned a lot, and I remembered a lot of the science. I am computer illiterate. David had me set up the camera in the office, and I kept looking at the camera because I was afraid it was going to run out, and I was stickler for back. So, but I have to say it's one of the best journeys I've ever had in my life, and I've learned so much, and I was sad when it was over.
Well, as somebody said, all great masterpieces, they're never finished, they're abandoned. So this will go on. Mr. DeHilster, Sr., if you don't already have a nickname, I want to give you one. I want to call you the Silver Cat. Because you've already used up 2 lives in this movie here. Was it Portuguese, Gato Prata? The Silver Cat? Okay, we'll go with it. But,
I've been called worse.
this is... We saw it in the movie, it started out just your wife, but you got more and more involved in the project as it went along. Is there something that was reawakened you in this journey?
Yeah, Dave, my wife says David awakened me up. He's gotten me into many different projects. It was alluded to in the film, a wooden pipe order that worked, to play, time-lapse photography. When I gave him that first camera, he couldn't put it down. So, you know, and then he asked me to do a gravity experiment. And the guy said, calls me up one time, no, it was an email. He sends me an email and he says, Dad, how much lead do we need? I don't even,
A phrase you say every day to your loved ones, don't you?
I had no clue how much, later on, when I actually read about gravity experiments, I made the decision based on money, not on how much we need. I knew if I had to buy 1 ton of lead, which is what I should have said, we'd have never done the experiment. Well, we did the experiment, and we did the report. The experiment failed, and as he said in the movie, I'm done. I told him, I said, I'm finished. I got nothing else to do, but you know, it was a failure. But I'm thinking about those 2 curves. And that's my answer finally. Those 2 curves from 2 equations that are totally different come up with the same shape. Didn't have the right values, I had the right shape. And I spent the whole year finding that out, and I've been working on it since then. Total of 8 years on gravity.
I think you should be applauded because most people, when they get up there in age, they just sit there and do Sudoku. So, you know Sudoku? Who's doing advanced calculus? I'm certainly not, but I've got triplets, so. There you go. Mr. Hatch.
I enjoy Sudoku.
Oh, awesome. There you go. We find a common theme here. So how many patents do you have?
I think it's like 33 now.
Just just off the top of your head, you don't know how many patents you have.
There's a couple in process.
Okay. So how did David get you involved in this project?
You know, I'm not all that sure. I think he contacted me, and it's been so long ago that my memory is starting. Would you remind me how did you?
Well, I knew GPS was something that people could understand. They hear it all the time. You know, you hear it all the time. And so I knew I said, who in the MPA knows that? And then we went to dinner, and I pitched you.
I remember the dinner.
Yeah, I pitched you this idea of kidnapping Stephen Hawking, and he still wanted to write a check to help me out. That's how we.
Yeah, thank you.
But,
I do remember the dinner. Very nice.
There you go. Did he get a good Yelp review? MD, okay. There's a lot of, they're talking about dark matter and a lot of things that are trendy nowadays. Are people just spouting those words, or are they actually waiting for something that actually is concrete and real?
You know, there's an awful lot of fantasy in physics, and yes, they keep talking about dark matter, but it's a problem. What can you say? Just it's worse than the fantasy books that your science fiction books you're reading. They're not grounded in reality anymore else, in my opinion.
Actually, David, if you do this on a DVD, I think you should include a drinking game. So every time there's something that sounds like it's from Star Trek, you should take a shot. You had your hand raised?
Yeah, I'd like to speak to the point of dark matter. Something I mentioned in the 2009 APA conference. One of the problems that present day, the popular science, the mainstream science has, is that they have to insist that Newton's equation is absolutely correct, that G, the universal gravitational constant, is absolutely precise, and to make that work for the stars at the edge of the galaxy, it doesn't work. They invent dark matter because that makes these equations worse, because they're so insistent that this equation be absolutely precise and correct, and that the gravitational constant is a constant. And I'm sorry, if you read my book, I will say it over and over again. It's not precise. It's a very good equation. It's a useful equation, but it's not precise. And you can explain the speed of stars at the edge of the galaxy without having to have dark matter.
Is your book published yet?
No, do you have a publisher I can?
No. I was just about to suggest it would make an excellent stocking stuffer for Christmas.
I actually have submitted it. I won't say who I did. And they promised me that when they received it, they would tell me they got it, and that 5 days later I would get a review. I have heard nothing.
I should comment that, in fact, at JPL, when they solved for the different orbits of most satellites and stuff, they literally solved for the gravitational constant with it, because they know they can't get the correct orbits if they just assume one particular value.
I should start drinking now. Would you like to open it up to the audience? If they have any
If
questions?
anybody has any questions?
I see somebody back. I'm going to do my best impression here. That's right.
Hi,
Hello.
David.
Yeah.
I think I met you, I don't know, 5, 7 years ago at an International Documentary Association meeting.
Yes, yes. How you doing?
Good. And we were both struggling with our documentaries, and you finished yours, and I'm still working on mine, so congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
What was your greatest challenge in making this film, and how did you overcome it?
Good question. Two things. One is I was at a meeting with my brother and Addie when they first moved here, and I went to the IDA, International Documentary Association, which is, you know, Michael Moore is a member, Ken Burns is a member, all those people are. And I was pitching my film to people, and I was walking around with Michael, and one of the guys said, "That's really hard. No one's going to understand it, and you better have a lot of humor in it. And how are you going to do that?" And I really didn't know. And when we were working at BH Development with the poker, online poker, I remember exactly where I was when I came up with the idea. I was in my car, and I remembered what my architecture, I studied mathematics, got an undergrad in mathematics and architecture, and my architectural teacher always told me something that gave me the whole movie idea, which was, if your mom doesn't understand the big idea of your building, then it's a bad idea. And then I thought, what if I took my mom on a journey? Then no one would be intimidated. You know, one of the problems is that's why you see in the beginning of the film, you see these scientists all looking funny at these dancing girls because scientists are too big and all that. And we're trying to get people, this movie is doing much better with the layman, and that's what we want. So it really came from that moment where I realized the idea, and that's when I called my mom. I said, if I take my mom to meet people like Ron Hatch, the audience is going to feel not intimidated. They're going to feel like, if she can go along, I can go along. And that's how it worked. So.
Anyone else have a question?
Wanda, you have a question? No, there. Hey.
Yeah, I'd like to know, when did you know you were done with it? Because you were working on it for a while.
That's a good question too. And it wasn't until I sat down with Michael Ruggieri, the composer, and the day before I was going to meet with him, I had my big screen TV in my living room from my real job. That's my favorite part. And I was sitting there going through it, and I was watching it, and I go, oh, this movie's terrible movie. This movie's bad. This is really bad. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Michael's coming over, and it had to be 3 months ago. You know how you go through it. You go bad, good, bad, good. It's every day, it's different. And then when I sat down with Michael that first time, when we sat down, I changed my mind. I said, this is a damn good movie. This is really good. And I will tell you also, Tamir, I will not take credit for the storyline. Two people who couldn't make it today here are Nick Tembury and Andre Tucker. I got them as early, I think it's 2006, 2007. I met them when we were, when Wanda was born. It must have been 2006. And they stuck with me the whole way. I picked 2 editors because I knew one thing, is that this movie had to have science, but it had to have a human story. When I was talking with Ron, I said, the scientists funded this film. This film was funded by the scientists you see in this movie. And I had to pitch to them, Tamir, not that, most of them wanted to hear, I'm going to tell about your theory, you're going to be, they don't want to be famous, they want their stuff to be known. And I said, that's not going to make it. It doesn't matter how good your theory is if you don't have a human interest. And that's where I came about the idea that I had to have 2 editors. And those 2 editors put together this storyline that you saw. And I actually had 4 phases of the film, and in the last phase, I took it over everything. I took over the editing, the graphics, everything. And that's when I knew the genius of the story. If you notice, you have the people talking about disputing the evidence, and then right after them, you got the guy at Stanford Linear Accelerator saying about this, and the guy on the phone saying GPS, the kid in the class saying, oh, yeah, the time on the clock. Those things I can't take credit for. And so the one editor, she didn't care about science, she didn't care. All she did was care about the human story, and she edited that. And then I had a guy who loved science, Nick Tembury, and those 2 had to fight it out and put together the storyline. So it was quite amazing.
Well, one thing I want to talk about, the caring. I've read a lot of screenplays and I've done a lot of things, and the most important thing I had is, do I care? And we care about these people and how they're going through their lives and this journey that they're all going on.
I just want to say, I know most of those people in the NPA, and they are weird.
In a good way. So you're normal? Is that it?
I guess that's it.
I tell you, I had half of my funding came from one scene in that movie. I showed them the scene from the NPA conference in 2008 that Tamir is a friend of mine who's a director and writer. And he went on, I had him come up and he was filming. There was a Hitchcock moment. If you go back and see the film, I'm walking through the scene. People go, who's filming? That was Tamir. Boy, I'm forgetting what I was going to say. Boy. All right.
Weirdness.
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 Oh yeah, it was the film. Yeah. And Mom was talking to the guy next to her in the film. You saw that. She goes, oh no, I'm a normal person. The president of the MPA, literally, when I turned, was on her hands and knees, heaving on the ground, laughing. She was an investor in my film, right? At that point.
She was just a civilian,
She was.
Did anyone have, oh, yes. The beautiful woman here on seat 102.
I actually thought the graphics graphics were really great, and they helped tie everything together. So I'm wondering when those came in. Like, was that an idea you had from the beginning?
Boy, one of the things people don't know, if you notice in the very beginning, I didn't want to put the part in the beginning of the film. I was told that by my editors. I stayed away from the editing process, and they shut me up a lot of times. And you know, I'm an artist, actually. I'm a scientist and an artist, and that's actually how I got into this. I had artwork in my wife's, who's a clothes designer, in her shop in Long Beach. Guy walks in, says, "Who's the artist?" "Oh, it's Dave." He goes, "Oh, your husband's an artist." "No, he's a scientist." So I'm one of those people who really live on both sides. So, yeah, Dr. Karzani, yeah. And basically, you know, art is something that's probably my biggest talent. I use it only for myself. I decided early on I don't want to paint for anybody, I don't want to do anything. I've had my works in the LA County Museum's gallery, so, you know, I draw realistic portraits. So I'm an artist, and at that time I didn't know. I was really trying to get somebody to do the graphics. And what happened was, in the fourth stage of our film, I decided that I would start looking for somebody. And then I decided I was going to look for some graphics for lower thirds. That's where you see the name there go across. And I came across, because of Final Cut Pro X from Apple is an incredible program, I went and bought some. Actually, had this writing on the board that was sort of, it came with that, and these other things, and that sort of inspired me, and I ended up doing all the graphics. I bought Motion 5, and because I'm an artist, I just went and I did those animations with a character animation that you put in YouTube. You see all those things like, you know, Obama talking and stuff. That's what you saw in the film. Those guys are real. Those are the two scientists that I pulled out. So I ended up doing that, didn't expect to do it. And it just went on its own. And that's usually what happens with me in art. I'll start something and I don't like it, and it goes on its own. So I'm very pleased to hear that, but I wasn't expecting it.
Follow up on the art. What struck me about the blackboard, you saw the blackboard in the movie and the chalk going around. One of the very first slow motion movies he made with that old camera that I gave him was on a green chalkboard, and he had this little man walking, and he took a picture of another man walking. That green blackboard and that graphic that he did at age 12 or 13 looked just like what you saw in the film. It's much better now than it was back then. He has all these extra tools that help him, but he did all the other stuff freehand. I want to make one last comment. One might ask the question, well, what now? I have a book. He has a film. We want to be in the theaters. I have a book I want to publish. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. His film says Einstein's wrong. My book says, hey, wait a minute, maybe there's a better equation. Not a precise one, but a better one. So we're hoping to do that. But now I'm starting a whole new phase. It isn't over. It's not like when I said at the end of the conference, well, I have nothing to do. Well, I ended up another 7 years working on the equation. Now I have calculations to do. I got to prove that the equation is correct. It'll take me, I keep saying that by myself, writing it down, putting it in C++ language. I estimate 5 years before I'm done. So we got more work to do.
All right, what that means to me is, I say,
supper.
he will be at the computer, he will come to eat. And you know, it doesn't bother me because I think it's great that he's doing this. So I don't have a problem with it. I may get a little agitated every now and then.
You know where he is every night, right?
That's right.
I'm chasing electrons, not
So, more questions?
Got a couple here.
David,
So I don't, boy, this is weird. That's what she chickened out, huh?
He has something for you.
Thank you so much. You don't need to cry. Thank you. She helped with the. She actually helped type in the names for the credits. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't think we can pass that right there. I think that was good. Thank you very much for everybody. Thank you for letting me be a part of this, and thank you all for being here tonight. And I'm sure we can all chat, but we do have to be out of here in about 20 minutes. Some middle-aged people want to dress as cross-dressing aliens and throw toast in the air. So, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, I certainly did. Very good job.
Hello. If you guys have 5 minutes, I would like to sing happy birthday to my mother-in-law. It's her birthday today.
My mother's birthday, and we have a cake and everything. Pearl Harbor Day, we have a cake coming, so. Forgot my mom's birthday. Anybody forget their mom's birthday ever?
That's right.
So we'll do that. You can go on as soon as we get the cake down here, so keep mingling. We have mingling time.
I think we should be doing this in Portuguese and English. Are you ready?
Yeah, we got it here. We won't ask how old. Yeah. We'll do it in English, then we have Brazilians here, right? Brasileiros estão aqui? Okay, we'll do it in Portuguese too. We'll start out now, how's that? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. Hillster. Happy birthday to you. How about Portuguese? Parabéns pra você nessa data querida. Muitas felicidades, muitos anos de vida. Viva! Make a wish. I know this is like have your husband back, but go ahead.
I'll try not to cry, but I wish happiness and peace for everyone here, and I thank God for being part of this family.
All right, we're out.
Thank you, everybody. And if Einstein is wrong or right, if you ask me that question, I don't know if I do care about it. I just want my husband to finish the movie because it drove me crazy for like 8 years. And I hope he can make some money off. That way he can come out with another nice one and maybe do some experience for science. Because I do believe in science and I do believe in him. Thank you, David.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
She used to take my mom's mom.
He says it's good, I got
Hey, tomorrow we have a party.
I
vague. There's a lot of great but I hope so.
Congratulations.
I knew who that was, so like, no one would ask that question.